Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Lefave, and today we are going to be talking all about the Filbert brush. So let's jump right in and get started. Okay friends, so today we are spotlighting the Filbert brush. So I have different sizes here. I have 5 different sizes. I have a size 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. And these ones actually come in my watercolor subscription box with Craftimo. So if you have subscribed to that box, you will be getting all of these brushes by the end of your subscription. As for right now, they are sold out, but we are selling them in pairs based on the month of the subscription box. So you will be able to purchase them kind of separately, mostly in pairs. At some point, I believe the only one available right now on the website is the size 10, but they will all be available at some point. And if you're not interested in buying these Filbert brushes, guess what? Lots of other brands make Filbert brushes, so you can always just pick up one. I'm going to show you how to use it today. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun. So here, this is just, I didn't want to waste paper. I was swatching colors earlier, so I just thought I'd use the rest of this paper so we can just play around. And then I'm going to show you how to make flowers with these Filbert brushes, because if you notice, they have a great rounded edge for petals. So like I said, the Filbert brush is a rounded kind of flat brush. It has this nice round tip, and it's flat, kind of like a flat wash, just rounded. So it gives you a really nice rounded tip, which is great for lots of things. But you can also get pretty thin lines just by putting it on its flat side. So anytime you are getting to know a brush, I highly suggest, taking a scrap piece of paper and playing around with it, seeing what different strokes you can make, seeing what different shapes you can make. So that's what we're going to do for the first part, and then I'm going to maybe paint a flower. I'm using my Etcher Lab Cold Press Watercolor Sketchbook, and today I'm painting with my brand new Paul Rubens watercolor tube paints that I did in my previous video. I put them in this palette. Just thought I'd play around and give them a try again. They look like a lot of fun, so that's what I'm using today. And let's begin. So I'm just going to be playing with a bunch of these colors anyway, just because they're really beautiful. I love this color. So with any new brush, you want to just see what kind of marks it makes. Apply a lot of pressure, maybe just a little bit of pressure. See how thick you can make your lines, how thin. Quickly press up and down. See what shapes you can get. Put it on its side. See how thin you can make the lines. Maybe do a dual pressure where you're doing heavy to light. Maybe curve it, see what kind of curves you can make. Put it on its side, see what kind of curves you can make, and just literally play around. Fill up a whole sheet of just kind of playing around with the shape of your brush. You can make some really nice strokes, okay? So that's the 10. Let's use the 8. I don't think I've used this one yet. Let's try a yellow. Okay, you're just gonna, again, play. See how thick and thin you can make it. And just get a feel for a brush. Using any new brush can be tricky, right? It takes practice, especially that dagger brush that we did in our last get to know video. That was really tricky. And to get it to do what I wanted it to do was really hard. But with the more I practice with it, the more second nature it becomes, okay? You can't try things just once and go, yep, I suck at this. I can't do this. That's just not the way it works. All of us, whether we're, really familiar with watercolor and painting or not, we need to practice. And it took me a while to practice with the dagger. And I feel like there's still times where I need to practice way more. So one of the strokes that you're going to need to know to paint flowers with this brush is this kind of press and lift, but you're going to swoop it to the side and it kind of makes these petal shapes. So you're going from this thick, let's try some red, this thick petal to this thin, but then moving it to the side so you get this nice little tip. So that's a good stroke to practice, going both ways, maybe over and under. Just practice them all. Size 6 is really nice. Just playing with all my colors here. It's that thick to thin that really needs a lot of work with this brush. Let's try out our blues. See how thin you can make those lines. Use them different ways. I'm going to move on to my size 4 here. I got to become familiar with all these colors in this palette. And if you haven't seen that review yet, go check it out. These are actually beautiful watercolors. Just kind of play around. Okay, and then lastly, my size 2, which is super teeny tiny and cute. You can do like the tiniest little flowers with these, which we'll get to. Okay. Just have fun. Get to know your brushes. You can even create a whole piece with these strokes, just playing around, okay? So once you get a feel for them, then we can start painting. So I'm just going to switch over my paper and I will show you how I would paint a flower with Filbert brushes. So let's practice some flowers. So I'm just going to grab my pink. I feel like it's my go-to color. We can do tons of different types of flowers. I'm going to try like a fluffy peony with this large 10 one, size 10. So I'm just going to start by doing these little chunky kind of petals. And see how it's kind of like an abrupt stop? You can always just use the side of your brush and just finish it off. Turn your brush to the side a little bit. I'm just going to build kind of like this bowl shape. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of white space. Have some petals that are falling down. I'm going to use the side of my brush to kind of create these little curves. And we're just playing. With this fluffy peony kind of shape. I'm leaving the center for our yellow bits. I'm going to go back in with some more color. Just add some deeper pinks in there. I feel like it's looking a little flat. I need it higher up, a little bit fluffier. I'm going to wash off my brush a bit, bring some of these petals over here. Like that. Let's create a leaf with this brush. So I'm just going to grab some of my olive green and I'm just going to put it on its side and I'm just going to create this stem kind of thing, and then on its side still I'm just going to create a leaf shape using our pressure, light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. Okay. Create more. Let's mix some greens. So you can get that tip of these leaves, or you can have a bit more of a rounded tip with this brush, which is cool. I'm gonna grab a bit more darker green. Just let it bleed in there a bit. Cute. I'm gonna do the center of that later. Let's do, let's try a rose. I'm gonna try this other pinky, I think this is quinacridone violet. So I wonder if I should do it with a smaller brush, maybe, but let's try it with the bigger brush first. So I'm just going to do these little curves just with the tip of my brush. And I'm just going to go around And then I'm just gonna use some pressure, twist my brush a bit maybe. Yeah, I'm like curving the back of the brush around to get these petal shapes. Now I'm just using more water, and I'm just using that curve in the brush to create these rounded petals. That works pretty well for a rose, I think. Go back in, add some darker color. And remember, if it's frustrating to use at first, like, you just got to keep going. It's not going to come as easily as something that you've been using a lot longer, like a round brush, right? Like, I have played with my Filbert brushes a bunch, so I'm getting better. I'm still not as confident with it as I am with a round brush, but you get better as you practice, right? It's just how it works with everything. There we go. Let's grab, I don't know, let's sap green. Actually, I want a darker green. I like this green. And you can still create some of those like leaf shapes. See that? Because using that flat side still gives you those points. Just kind of flick it. That works. Cute. Okay. Let's try a different size. Let's try some buds or something. Let's make like an orangey color. Or maybe even like a sunflower kind of, I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just do some rounded kind of buds here. Like they're almost the perfect shape of brush to do a lot of florals. I'm just using that rounded shape and then lifting up to get that kind of blunt edge or their point. Let's try some of this. I don't know. I'm literally just playing around here. I don't have a direction that I'm going in, just playing. Just really using the brush on all angles, on the sides, on its flatter part, you know? Get some green. And these really do work well for stems, because you can get these really nice flat lines. Pretty. Cool. Okay. I want to do kind of like a white like daisy or something. So I'm going to try to do like a center here. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of black, maybe a little bit of indigo. You can just do these perfect daisy petals almost. We're going to do smaller one with the smaller brushes too. Like these are really great for sunflower petals. that. Adding a little bit more in there. Oh, I don't know, it's pointing down for some reason. Should I have it going around? Let's have it going around. Like that. A little bit more on the center, maybe a little bit of lemon yellow, a little bit of brightness. I definitely could have done that better. It's fine. But let's do maybe a smaller one. I'll use the size 4. We're gonna, you know what? Actually, let's do. Now I'm dirtying my yellow. I don't know what I'm doing. Whoops. Let's do some little like buttercups even. You can just do these tiny little petals. Swoop them to the side and then do one fat one at the bottom. You have like a super easy shape here. It's like effortless flowers. Add a little bit of orange to the center. So easy. Maybe you can just do like a little bud. And that stem is a little bit too big, but that's fine. Let's try like another little daisy. You can just do these tiny little flowers with this brush. So try and go from the petal to the center. So out to the center. Because you want that rounded bit to be on the outside of the petal, right? At the tip. I went the wrong way. It takes getting used to. It's definitely a learning curve. But yeah, that's basically it. You could just keep, honestly, you could just keep playing and just have so much fun. You can do these tiny little detail lines, but also the big stuff. So yeah, that's how I use a filbert for my florals. I really enjoy it. It's so much fun. And it's very versatile. So if you have a filbert brush, I definitely suggest you get it out and start playing around. And if you don't, I will put Craftimo's website below, and keep an eye out for the other sizes of filbert brushes coming throughout the year. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.